Andile Cele.
Yes. AKA Scotch is dope.
AKA Scotch is dope. What came first, Scotch or dope?
Scotch. So it was Scotch, and then Scotch from dope store. Oh no, Scotch is.
But how do we go from Andile to Scotch?
We go from Scotch was my nickname from like when I was 13 in high school.
Yeah.
I had pajamas that were Scotch. You know, you go to boarding school and then you meet new people and then you fool around and then they give you that name. Oh, this guy's got Scotch pajamas.
Oh.
So that's where Scotch comes from. But I like to layer that story and say from the basketball courts, I used to make people drunk and and they call me Scotch. But the realness of it comes from the pajamas at school.
Why the pajamas? Did you like wearing the pajamas? Or
in boarding school, that's the pajamas I had. You know what I mean?
The one pair of pajamas that was
the one pair of pajamas was Scotch. So they're like, this guy is Scotch. It's like the first month of boarding school. You're meeting all these new people, and
they already decided for you.
No, you come from different backgrounds, and you're just really learning each other, and you're trying to know each other, and then you're giving each other. It happens even now in adulthood. You give each other silly names, just to kind of remember the character and get to know that person.
Yeah.
I think that's like a common thing.
Yeah.
That happens.
And then you are in boarding school, you graduate. Did you have a plan when you graduated matric?
When I graduated matric, I was a basketball player. That was my plan. That was my love. I got in scholarships to carry on playing basketball. But it's you in South Africa and I'm this short, at some point it hits you. This thing that I'm doing is actually not getting me anywhere. I should have used all these scholarship opportunities to actually study something meaningful, to get a real job at some point. Because I think at 20, that's when I actually realized, oh shit, the best player I've ever even seen play is so far away from making a living out of this sport. Why am I even doing it? And literally at that point I just stopped.
Yeah. But you finished matric and you go to university to study sports management.
Yeah. Through a basketball scholarship.
Through a basketball scholarship.
So I'm 17, when I finish matric, and I'm getting maybe like 3 schools saying come to our school. Number one, I'm not sure what I want to study. My parents are not really saying, they're never forceful. They were just happy that, okay, fine, finish high school, they don't have to pay for university. What do you think you want to do with your life? I'm like, fuck, I like sports. Number one, what do you really like? What are you gonna do? Okay, I like sports. Okay, sports management. Then I look at different courses at different schools, but also with those different schools, I've got 3 scholarships: University of KZN, Pietermaritzburg, University of KZN, Durban, and then I've got Natal Tech, which is the worst school, but it's the best school in basketball. Guess what the fuck do I choose? All my marks qualify me for all these schools. I choose sports management. I choose Natal Technical. But I'm 17 years old, you know what I mean? You don't really think about those things. You're thinking about, if I can make it best here, maybe in 2 years I can get a chance to go to the States and go study in the States. And then from the States, maybe I can play pro ball somewhere. You're not thinking NBA at that point. Now you start hitting you. Maybe I won't play in the NBA, but I'll play in Portugal or something. And then the next 10 years of my life, I'm playing professional basketball, bouncing in different leagues. Which you okay with that at that point. But I mean, like, fucking 2 years at Natal Tech, that's when it's like, but the good thing about it, I mean, God works in mysterious ways. Through basketball, I find sneaker culture. And then sneaker culture, I want to do, that's when like streetwear was kind of happening.
What year is this?
I don't remember. Maybe like this is This is early 2000s, because I think I matriculated 2001. So this is like 2002. But we already in sneaker culture at that time. Yeah. By 2001, because you're the best in basketball. You're already playing with 25-year-olds, 26-year-olds, U17. So when they hang out, when I'm playing at school, I still play for another club. So in the club, I play with 24, 25-year-olds. So after playing, you hang out, you drink, you go to tournaments in Joburg, go to tournaments all around the country. So after you play, there's girls, you gotta look good for girls. So we're already wearing Jordans, and we started wearing Air Maxes now. We start wearing like cooler shoes, not basketball shoes. So that's how I got into sneaker culture.
Yeah. But you dropped out of your degree, the sports management.
I dropped out by the. This is me in high school. This is not even varsity yet.
Okay.
So in high school, I'm like 16, but I'm playing because I'm so good in the sports. It's like Cristiano Ronaldo. He's 15 and he's playing for Manchester United in the first team type thing. But it doesn't matter. You're that good. So those guys, the older generation that we're in, they already into like girls like a lot, because obviously they're like 24, 25. So for them to impress girls, we're wearing really nice. We're already wearing Jordans at this time, because obviously Jordan is a holy grail. So we're already in Jordans. But now to impress the girls off the court, you start wearing Air Maxes, like all those cool shoes. So that's kind of how. So you get into that trade, because that's what the older guys, the guys you look up to, that's what they're doing. So you're really into that trade. So by the time I get to university, I'm deep in that trade. So I'm kind of like 2-3 years into the trade, and we're like, oh, we're wearing all these cool sneakers, but we're seeing like professionals overseas, they're wearing all these weird brands like LRG, Mecca, but none of that is in SA at that point. Like there was no Instagram, so you see this stuff in magazines. Oh, okay. So these Maxes, but Nike's already here, so like, oh, they wear Air Maxes with these type of cut shorts, with these type of t-shirts, with these types of. So that's kind of how Oli skateboard starts for me.
Yeah.
With these type of caps. You know what I mean? These type of watches. So at that time, there's like Quicksilver, Billabong,
Stussy.
Stussy wasn't even big at that time for us.
DC Element.
It was a lot of skates, surf, Abercrombie and Finch. A little bit of Stussy started coming in. Once we start digging in a little bit, we could start finding Stussys. But at that point, it was a lot of these surf. But also when we're wearing these, we're like, this is not really, you know. That kind of hits me then. Oh, okay, cool.
Okay. So you were in the culture, you were in the streetwear, sneaker, basketball culture that informed your fashion. Or were you already inclined to fashion, or you're more deep, or the culture informed your fashion interest?
Yeah. The basketball informed my fashion. The sneakers, number one. That was number one. That informed that's kind of got me into fashion.
Yeah, but you already were deep in the culture, the sports culture that is related and tie-ins to, that informs the fashion. Could you not earlier at 17 link the two, that maybe I would like to study fashion as opposed to sports management?
That's what I should have probably. I couldn't. At that point, I was too deep. The fashion came with the basketball. The lifestyle was the basketball. So I couldn't see past the basketball. Anything that came with the basketball, that's what I got into. So the number one drive, the easiest option for me was sports.
Yeah. And then when you left sports management, did nobody see your interest in fashion to say you can leave sports management for a fashion design degree?
No, really. No one. I swear to God.
And when you say I'm leaving school, nobody said, no one said what? No, they were like, okay, Tululu.
Yeah, it's you know, I think at that point I started getting into my own, because also when I'm leaving at that point, I think I was 20, 21, 22. So I already started getting my own interests in terms of where I want my journey to go, where I want to go. Because even leaving school, I left school at like, I was on my 3rd year. I was 6 months from graduating.
Almost done.
I was almost done, but I was like, even if I'm done, I'm gonna be done with nothing. You know, I really didn't see a future in sports management. I really didn't see a future in. I really didn't.
Yeah, but in what did you learn from sports management? The 2.5 years that you did.
I learned.
And what you learned that still informs us your disciplines or your principle today.
Management. Just, you know, things don't just happen like that. You kind of need information, you need research with some of the things. But to be honest, I don't remember a lot about school. I did go to school. I used to go to school. I got to like 2nd year and I was on my 3rd year of school. So I did go to school, but I don't remember because biokinetics, this muscle and that muscle. Because also, you know, at Natal Technicon at that time, they were doing mergers with Natal Technicon and the other, what was it? ML Sultan. Shit was fucking crazy.
There was a lot going on. So this half semester you've got this teacher concentrating a lot on biomechanics, and then the next thing is management this, management that, then the next thing is coaching, licensing. It was a jumble. So there wasn't like crazy there wasn't a lot of structure. I'm sure now that the degrees got a lot of structure, but at that time you're taking stuff from this side and this 2 different faculties and you're putting it together, and also you're putting together a lot of different people that must find their feet. Okay, where do you fall into this, where do you fall into that? And literally it was 1 year it was DUT, and then the next year it was another merger again, then it's now DIT with another institution coming in. That was crazy, man. There was like an influx of crazy different people, different ways. Because the people that were in the 2nd year, when I went to 2nd, they're like, we never learned any of the stuff that you guys are learning now. But anyway, I got some stuff out of it, but it wasn't a lot. I can guarantee you that. Okay. So then you bounce, you're like, I'm out of here, and you go into retail. You're still chasing fashion.
Yeah.
Is there like a light to like, okay, there's a fashion thing going on here when you leave university to go find a job in a retail space?
Yeah. I mean, that wasn't even... No, there was light. There was already light there. I think I remember, because now, the more, maybe like beginning of the year, I'm deciding that I'm not really sure about my decision of leaving school. I'm thinking, but I think I really like this other thing a bit. And also my interest in basketball, because I played for SA and we went to this other tournament like Junior African Olympics, and you know, they spent money. We went to training camp, we did things like professionals. So, but we got there. We did good. I think we came 2nd or 3rd in that tournament. Oh no, I think we came 3rd. And we were supposed to qualify for the Junior African Champs if we come between 2nd or 3rd or something. But anyway, we never really got to. But what I realized from that tournament, I was like, man, I don't think, because the guys that won the tournament was Angola. And one of the guys actually went to go play in the NBA maybe like 6 or 7 years later. But I realized from that tournament that nah, as much as even if I can train every day for 8 hours, get paid to train every day for 8 hours, I will never be as good as that guy. Impossible. And that guy is not even the best guy in the world. He's not even top 100 best guys in the world. The NBA and these professional leagues, they take every single year, the NBA only takes 30 people. And in those 30 people lose their jobs to get these 30 people in. When those 30 people that lose their jobs, they get jobs somewhere else. So imagine that situation, that rotation. I'm like, I need to find something else like quickly. So that's when, and I'm like, but I'm also getting more and more into it because I've already started my ollie skateboards, selling to friends and family. Not crazy, but the interest now is there. Let me try and make it bigger. Let me try and make it better. So that was my next choice.
And how long were you in retail for in South Africa?
In South Africa, I got into, I think it was the fucking space. I don't remember at that point, but that was just before. At that point, also when I'm doing ollie skateboards comes between skateboarding was the birthplace of streetwear, because that's when hip hop and sneaker culture and black and white mixing and
Black
people
music.
and black music and people kind of caring about how they look, how being cool and looking cool. So that's kind of how ollie skateboards comes in anyway, because I'm realizing this is happening in Durban right in front of my eyes. I'm like, oh, cool, skate park. We're going to these clubs. There's a mix of us. Okay. So that's kind of how I start doing these T-shirts and caps. Saying this is this type of brand, and I think the same formula even with dope is the same formula where I choose.
We'll get there later.
Okay. But anyway, it's a subculture that through that subculture is my outputs. Everything, my whole story is with my brand. My whole story was skateboarding.
Yeah.
All the logos. The first ever fashion show that I put together myself was at a skate park, kind of like a mini skate festival fashion show, just before I could get my clothes onto the space. But when I was going to all the skate stores, they were like, nah man, this is not skater, this is like too fashion. Going to the fashion store, they're like, nah, it's too skater, it's not fashion. But I think, and I was working as a waiter at that time, so I was going to Gateway a lot, and then, because that's where I used to work. And then I think it was a Space or Soweto, one of those stores, one of those early conceptual crazy stores.
Yeah. So you did the waitering gig like here, and then you decide I'm gonna go to England.
That's why I was doing that. I'd already decided.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why England?
I didn't really want to go to the States, and the visa for England, because obviously we got colonized by England, so there was that easy access visa for 2 years. And I think some of my friends back then, but some of my friends were, I think, some people that I knew, they'd been already doing that.
But it was like the coolest thing to do back then. Like
I think
after
so.
high school,
Yeah.
you just go
On a travel, yeah, au pair on
take
that.
care of people's children.
Yeah.
Or do
that
like
work student visa type thing, and that kind of, it was either the States or England. So when I was looking at my options, the US, the visa thing, and then they were like, no man, do this thing, get 2 years.
Had you ever traveled outside the country before?
I'd had through my basketball experiences.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'd gone to Mozambique. I'd gone to, I think, Mozambique. Where else? African countries. South.
You knew
Africa.
your way around customs and.
Yeah, it was southern African countries. But also when you travel in basketball, it's like, give us all your passports. Not really like how you travel when you travel now. It's like everybody's passports. Oh, South African team, go. Everybody goes through, get your passport when you get to the other side.
Yeah.
It was kind of, but I kind of knew
what to do. Yeah. And did you leave with the intention of like, I am going to study the retail model in England to come and implement it in South Africa?
Straight up super, because as soon as I was getting no's in a lot of these doors, I was like, anyway, because the doors that I kind of really wanted, what people were saying was true. It was I needed a streetwear door that allows this person to come in and that person to. It was actually true, because I sat down and I was realizing, actually this thing is too fashion for the fashion store, and it is too skater for the skate, but you know, when we hanging out as friends, maybe 2 of our friends skate, three of the other ones, they musicians, we play sports, some of them are artists, you know what I mean? It was kind of that mix, and I was making clothes to fit that mix.
Okay, so you in England, you do your thing, you absorb everything, the culture, the retail model.
England was weird, man. It was culture shock, but it gave me opportunity to travel. So that's when also the internet started coming in a lot more. Seeing the collates. So when I used to go on holiday, I used to go to all these places that I used to see on the internet, because it's also easy to travel. Paris was £30 for a weekend, hotel, everything, boom, easy. What is it? Lastminute.com, boom, boom, in for a weekend. Also like 3-hour flights, you in, you out. So that's when. So it wasn't actually England. It was England for part of it, but the opportunity to
Paris, here, there, and everywhere,
and just go and see.
And then you come back, and what is the plan when you come back? What do you have in your bag of tricks?
My plan is definitely a sneaker store.
Are you coming with a business model laid out,
No.
or like a financial structure? Were you there yet?
No.
Or it's still a concept.
It's a concept. It's a concept thing. You know, it's seeing my interests and seeing also just people. There's a lot of streetwear now. Actually, streetwear has a name, streetwear. So I'm seeing that there's even before I left, I said, even when I told my parents, it's like, I want to come back and open a store. But the more I get there, I'm like, actually, this thing can only work in a big city. So instead of opening a store in Durban now, I'm going to open my store in Joburg. So the only change. And then also I'm anticipating World Cup, because I come back in, I think it was 2009. No, actually it was like December 2008. It was like literally, it was 2009 already, because that December I spent at home. I only moved to Joburg in 2009. So I kind of leave England in, I think it was like the 6th of December. Then I spent December at home, and then 2009 I'm here in Joburg.
You're in Joburg, and how old are you now then?
I think 24.
24, and you're already looking into like retail spaces in Marshalltown, downtown Johannesburg. How do you know how to do these things and have these conversations?
I don't even know at that point. To be honest, I don't. At that point, I'm kind of thinking about, I know that I wanted to be in the city center, because everywhere else I've gone, all these places are in the center of the city, because everywhere else, that's how the world operates. You know, the whole culture is in the city. But also, well, my sister's like, no, let's go to Rosebank, let's go see Rosebank, this is where you think is going to work. But me also...
Are you in business with your sister?
No.
No.
My sister stays there in Joburg, so she kind of knows how Joburg operates, how it works. You know, let's go around Melville, let's see. But my mind was already made up.
Yeah.
Even my mind was made up just even before I left England. I was like, I know Joburg, CBD, city center, that's where I want to build the culture. Doesn't matter what else is happening there. Done.
How much you have in the bag to start off this business?
I've got cash. Excuse me, I've got money. Not a lot of money.
Quantify money. How much you have?
I've got maybe 100.
100K. You've been working hard and you've been saving.
Yeah, I've been working, saving. I've been doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
I've got like every month I'm saving money. I'm sending money back home.
Okay.
I've got more than 100K.
You get more than 100K as a starting capital and your running cost for the business.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you open up a store in Marshalltown, which was a very cool store that you had.
Yeah.
Are you designing dope at this point, or you are curating?
I'm curating.
You curating product.
So what I realize when I'm doing my travels is that let me start from the finish line and work my way back. That's what kind of hits me, because a lot of the stores, they're multi-brand stores. they're lifestyle stores, because also goes back to my friends. We were friends, we all connected around, what connected us was fashion. Actually, most of my friends, it was culture of fashion, but we all come from different backgrounds of that culture. Skating, sports, arts, but what brings us together is the fashion. We all like Nike Dunks, we all like Vans, we all like, you know what I mean? We're into that type of stuff. So I also realize, but I don't realize, but the way I maneuver, I realize that I need pockets of different people.
Yeah, to aggregate, to everybody build their own tribes.
To everybody building the bigger tribe.
To this temple,
yes,
called Dope Store.
Yes, exactly.
In the heart of Johannesburg.
In the heart, yes. That's what I realized.
Do you have a business partner? You're doing everything by yourself?
I'm doing everything. I've always worked by myself.
Yeah.
That gets things working quicker. It gets things working quicker, but also slower. It's both worlds. I mean, any choice that's what I've also realized. In any choice you make in life, there's a positive, there's a negative.
Yeah.
But through my experiences of all the skateboards, I'm like, this whole partnership thing is not for me. So when I come back, I get one of my other friends, MJ, but he's an employee, not a partner. So he's kind of here I get him to kind of run this. He's working.
Operationals.
Yeah. Operations.
Yeah. So the store is set up, it's a multi-brand store that focuses really on street culture and cultural, basically brands that move the needle when it comes to culture, or that hit a cultural nerve in terms of offering.
Yeah.
Is it profitable? No.
Hell no. No.
Why? It was open for 4 years, correct? 4.5.
The Fox.
Yes.
Fox was 3 years. Commissioner was another 3 years. So 6 years. Still 6 years. Then pop-ups now. Pop-ups.
So those 6 years, this dope store was not profitable?
No.
You're just pouring money into it.
Just making money, putting it back, making money, putting it back, getting into things, putting it back, getting into things, putting it back. The whole time.
Was it not profitable because you were hosting, you were stocking other brands and you didn't have an in-house? So the money came in but the money went out.
A lot of different factors, Jerry.
Yeah.
Lots of different factors that.
Like you were robbed a few times.
Yeah, robbed a few times.
Did you have business insurance?
I had business insurance, but that fucking shit doesn't work because they give you a runaround for 8 months.
Technicalities.
Not even technicalities. Okay, you number one, maybe the first 2 months technicalities, and then the next 3 months, oh no, we're gonna investigate, and then the next 2 months you arguing about the payouts. No, this one is too old, we don't think you had this thing, prove to us that you have this thing. In 8 months you've got invoices that are people that what is like, you get to a point where your payout is supposed to be maybe like 200k, you end up settling for 80k. They're like, no, actually we can give you, you're like, actually fuck it, give me 80k. It's been 8 months and people are harassing you and hounding you and all these things, and you're just like, actually let me just take this, pay whoever I can pay, deal with the rest.
And honestly, do you think or do you believe that you knew how to run the business?
Not 100%, but I've always learned. I've always learned how to run. I've always learned how to play basketball. I've always learned my way around when I was in England. I've taught myself how to negotiate leasing and rentals, and that part of it also. It's in due time. I always figure that I'm going to learn how to do it.
Yeah, and in hindsight, what you know now, how are you implementing it in the business right now from what you learned in the past?
Pretty much. Most of the decisions that I make now, I can guarantee the outcome in a way.
What would you have told yourself back then to make sure that you didn't make one of the costly mistakes that you did?
I should have carried on. I shouldn't have. I think with some of the accounts that I had, I got scared. In terms of, I'm going into debt. But they were fine. Nike was fine, Puma was fine, Adidas was fine. They're all fine. They were like, just pay something every month. You're doing great. And the execs would come with agency people. They're like, oh, this is what we're saying the sneaker thing is. This is the type of doors that we're trying to get young kids interested in, and this is where this exclusive product must be in. And they'll come maybe every season. They'll come maybe 2 times a season. So this is the product. This is the product mix. We want our shoes in stores that have kind of this type of vibe, that have that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I just got a little bit shook, and I got overwhelmed by the numbers. When, once they mustn't, the numbers, they do matter. And I'm teaching myself to say this is kind of how you maneuver around the numbers for it to make sense in the end, so that you get the positive number. But at that point, if I still had those accounts, they didn't. I would have been done with them. I would have been in the positive by now.
Yeah.
Running a bigger monster.
And you didn't think that, oh, maybe I should get somebody to come focus on the numbers?
I got trust issues, man.
Okay.
With stuff like that, especially with something that, going to England was a sacrifice for me. All my friends were doing whatever they were doing. They were living here. I was fucking home. I was in England alone, in rain for 8 months, and in cold, and sometimes you go through stuff and you're just like, oh fuck, why am I doing this? So I mean, all those sacrifices,
it wasn't easy.
To me, no, not even easy. To me, it doesn't make sense. I'd rather solve a problem or hire someone. Okay, but how can you even partner up now? How can I even partner up with anybody now? I can do a project with you, but man, what do I really need? Especially in this state. And I'm 35. I've got maybe another 20, 30 years to do something. But now, most of the things that I do, they're informed. It comes with, I've got the knowledge, I've got, what do I need from somebody?
And what year? No, in 2009 you launched Dope, your own line, right?
My own line, I launched the store in 2009. The line came in maybe 2011.
Really?
2011, yeah.
Okay. Why do I think it was sooner?
It kind of was sooner, but it wasn't really. 2009, I kind of just did sweaters. So it was just kind of like in-store.
A product offering of some sort.
It wasn't even too crazy later. It wasn't even a crazy thing. The reason I started going back into designing again, there was that void, man, of, I had customers, people used to come, like early adopters of sneakerheads. They were coming in floods, but they're coming with their girls, and their girls would just sit at the store, and I used to see this and watch it and be like, what is going on? And guys, and a lot of those guys used to come with their girlfriend. The girl would sit in the corner and watch the boyfriend buy 2-3 pairs of sneakers and go. And that kind of really bugged me. So that's when I was like, oh, actually I'm gonna go back into designing again. Let me try and fill this void of, because also I started buying a little bit of SA fashion. But that wasn't the girl that was coming in with the guy. Because if the guy is coming with the girl's already here. That's a sales opportunity, because also that's when I'm teaching myself business. Be like, this person is already here. This is a person that must be buying these products. But also my buying, my women's section was so flawed.
What was wrong with it?
It was the wrong customer. I think that customer exists now. Flowy sneakers, because women then, they cared about fashion, but it was a lot of truants and but it was kind of like Luna, Sis Isabel, that type of stuff, but now you're pairing it with an all-star. You could easily pair with an all-star. Those lunar shift dresses, you could easily pair with that.
But then also I don't think that it was flawed per se. It was just that you have been living in Europe
Yes.
for like 4 years.
Yeah.
So your foresight of where the trends and the people are, it's informed by that, either subconsciously or consciously.
Yeah.
So even if you bought for local, you're buying for European women.
Yeah, I think
back
so.
then.
Yeah, I think so, because that's how I was pairing it.
Yeah.
Some women were getting it. Some of them, there was few that were getting it, but to make a department work. But also at the same time, I didn't really mind, because also I was pushing the envelope, like from the start, with the 2-layer store, the type it was, the way it was done, the way everything was being done, it was pushing the envelope. And I was, to be honest, I was happy with pushing the envelope, but the balance. But also, even now, I think the balance is in fashion in South Africa. That balance is very far from if you look at conceptual stores and stores that push the envelope, and finding that business and envelope balance we're still so far from that, and no one can honestly say that they're achieving that now, today.
Okay, then you get the opportunity to show at Fashion Week.
Yeah.
So it's like you started from the back end.
Yeah.
You're making
Came
your
sooner
way.
than I thought, to be honest.
The cycle of how dope started, it's like the invert of how most people start.
Yeah.
Because most people will start by designing, get an opportunity, do like fashion shows, Fashion Week, then finding manufacturers, retail, blah, blah, blah. You started at the end stick of everything.
Yeah.
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 So you get an opportunity to showcase at Fashion Week.
Yeah.
And I remember back then, I think I even came backstage and I saw what was happening.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think those were my words, like, this is the most coolest casting I have ever seen at Fashion Week.
Yeah.
Because you did a street casting.
Yeah.
And then I know that Fashion Week has this thing of all the models that have to walk, they have to be with an agency.
Yes.
But you kind of like did your own thing. You found all of these coolest crop of people to come wear dope and just walk on the runway.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
That actually, Fashion Week allowed me to do that. Lucilla was coming to my store through Ephraim.
We love Ephraim.
Yeah. Yeah, so she was coming a lot, and then I think somebody dropped out last minute. There were slots. So she was like, can't give you models. The best I can do is give you the platform to show. But I said no. I said no, I couldn't do it. She's like, no, man, just through the eyes and the mix, the brand mix of this store, you can make clothes. She didn't even know that I was designing. I started off design. The reason I came to do a store was because I wanted to find a home for my designs that I couldn't find. But she was like, no, man, do that. Look at your eyes, the products that you have here. You can make clothes. Let's come up with stuff. And then show me, and then we'll take it from there.
That's how she encouraged Ifemal as well. Because Ifemal started off as a fashion model, then he became a fashion stylist, then Lucilla was like, you ready? Lucilla and Dion Chang, they were like, you ready, you can design. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how it happened. I didn't even know that story.
Yeah.
She was like, I look at the clothes, I look at everything that you're doing here, you can make clothes. Come up with stuff that you think people that come shop here would want to wear, show it to me, and then I'll tell you yes or no. Then I came up with stuff, I showed it to her, she's like, cool. It's like, okay, cool. I don't have models for you. Find your peoples, find the people, your friends, your cool friends, that you find them, I'll teach them how to walk. Because obviously the agency and not paying a fee that understood that, cool. Found the people, found those people, did the show, did makeup for us. Day of the show, came in early, came in maybe like just before, in the morning. This is how you walk, guys, boom, 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 boom. We had lunch, did hair and makeup, did the show.
Did you pay for the slot?
I didn't pay for the slot.
That's okay. You designed for this range.
Yeah.
Did you design the full collection
With my in-store brand, hoodies, t-shirts, caps, design prints, boom, 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 put that in. So with Fashion Week, that's when I started doing because I wasn't ready to do the cuts and sews. Because with my previous brand, with Audi, I was already doing cuts and sew. I was already like denims, changing pockets, doing these type of silhouettes on the denims and all those things. I was already doing that with that. But now when I came back, I was just screen printing just to fill the gaps of what I think the customer's looking for from what the brand didn't have. And then what Fashion Week kind of did, I kind of mixed both. So I knew that graphic fashion was my story. So obviously graphic, carry on doing don't change that, carry on doing that. And then with the tracksuit painting, that's when I was starting to do those cuts and sew stories.
Did Fashion Week move the needle in terms of business, in terms of sales?
Not really. It moved the needle for business for me, because I was already contemplating growing my in-store line, but I was too busy on the business side of Dope Store. Too busy to even give it a chance. Always keep on postponing. Next month. So when Fashion Week came in, it made me focus for that one full month, because I had a month to put all of this together.
Yeah.
Then I did it once, and then an email came in after that. Oh, nice reviews. Come next season, but 15,000 next week. Come next season. Come, pay this much. You can do it again. But also for me, it got back my creative juices of, okay, so let's try and manage both. Oh, let's add another look. But also with Dope Store, the way I was growing it, every 6 months that's how the store grew. Because it started as a sneaker store, and then it went into all these different, then that's how it became a department store. So I'd finished doing the department. So I was kind of now focusing on going from the red to going to the black. But that's not even a creative thing. That's just like fucking focus of trying to order the right things, try and see how you manage these accounts, and trying to do that. So the creative part of it for like a year was non-existent. So Fashion Week just kind of go back into being creative.
And that's when you extended your product line.
Yeah.
With like diversification.
Yeah.
Diffusion lines. Would you call them because you had Dope Black, Dope Orange, Dope Plus, Dope Tennis recently.
Yeah.
Dope White.
Yeah.
Dope Warm.
Kind of like.
So how many are there? Six of them.
There's about 6 or 7 of them now.
Which one are they all alive?
They're all alive.
Okay, let's go through them. What does Dope Black do?
So Dope Whites is the commercial one. Let's start with that. So that was kind of like the invention of it. So Dope White is commercial. Whatever works. So that's the one that makes us money. Keeps the business alive, makes us money. Not too much, also material wise and price range. 250 t-shirts, 300. Most things under 1,000 rand, nothing over 1,000 rand. But the look is compromise on material and don't go too much with ideas. Then we've got Dope Orange. Dope Orange is more, it's a streetwear line. So that's more music, hip sneaker, hip hop, kind of where that world plays. But also the quality of material is a step up to the white. Then black started off as a capsule line, because when the consumer was growing, so the guy was buying whites and orange. He's 19 years old, then he's 20, then he's 21, now he's 25. That guy works, some of them in a bank. He needs a shirt, but he's still coming into the store, but he needs a shirt to wear. So that started off as, I remember starting that line, I did white shirts only, with just different colors, round collar, straight collar, Chinese collar. That's how I started that line. Then I did pants the next season, and then I think I did the same shirts but in different colors now, and then that's kind of how it grew. Now my black line is a full line also. And then, so once that was kind of the black line was going, you just fucking get bored. Then I started doing the homemade line, because also you grow and you sing a lot of different things. So homemade also, capsule line, experimental. That's kind of now, I kind of know the products for homemade. Then that's when I start doing plus line. The plus line is a collaboration, so dope plus something. So the plus line, all collaborations go under plus. Before, they used to just be scattered everywhere. I'll do something with Converse, I'll do an orange. I'll put it under dope orange. But now everything kind of gets housed in dope plus. As much as I use references from all the different lines, but it's because also the collaborations, they're happening all the time now. So I can't say one season I'm doing with orange. They're happening all the time. All the big brands just come and take some product, do something with this product. And then my next one is surplus. With how the business is going and it's getting bigger, my manufacturers, it's just insights and highlights. I'm getting to big factories that manufacture for X supper brands, and I see business there, and I'm a businessman, and I'm trying to make the creative work with the business, with the numbers. And then there will be more lines the more the journey carries on, because
you didn't speak on tennis.
Tennis is a project, you know. Tennis, the dopest tennis that's just a project that comes up when it comes up, when I feel like it can come up. It's more of an art project than a line, you know. It's more of an art project than a line, because that's with artists that really like the brand. And then dope is tennis. Then I say free range, you create shit, I can put it on t-shirts for you. So it's not even a dope plus product, because a dope plus product is a commercial value. It must have commercial value. A dope is tennis product there's not even a commercial. We can even make one and frame it and put it there, but we can, it depends on individuals with that. That's why that doesn't even have a category yet. It's just I did a project with a photographer that I couldn't see commercial value, but I saw brand value in it. So I can't really put it under any of these subcategories, because all of these things, they must make money, even if they're not making money now. But the goal is they are there to make money.
Why tennis?
Tennis, that's a logo issue. I was watching Ralph Lauren's documentary maybe like a month ago, and he said something crazy, and I was like, God, because it's like looking at my backstory. I'm into sports. I like sports. I get into sports I get into fashion because of sports. So when I start my company, I need a logo. Every company must have a logo. So this is exactly what Ralph Lauren says. He says, I can't really call my company basketball. I can't really call my company soccer. I can't really call my company cricket. I guess it could be called cricket, but I'm looking at a logo also. A logo, I'm also foreseeing, I'm not even thinking about doing a brand. I'm foreseeing, if I had an opportunity to do a Vans, can I put this logo there? If I have an opportunity to do a t-shirt, can I put this logo there? So I start crossing logos that I can think of, but I know it's a sports logo. Two tennis rackets. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I can put it there. I can put it in mostly anything that I can. Going back to my skate thing, then I build on that then. So my ideas also, they start coming, and my research. That's what makes it easy for me to do stuff, because my idea is based on on a very solid idea. I can't go wrong because this is my belief. This is the story. I can make up anything else as long as it matches this. So that's how the tennis part of it comes from. And I make up a lot of shit. I make up conceptual t-shirts, United States of Africa tennis camp. Sounds good. It's a believable story. It's the best tennis players, because it also comes from my backgrounds of sports. ABCD camp. Best basketball players that come and play basketball for this camp. Touches on an African thing. It's an African brand. United States of Africa tennis camp. I make that shit up. I make up tours. I do tour t-shirts. My band t-shirts are tennis t-shirts. It's made up tennis players, situations or scenarios.
That's clever because it plays onto the brand equity.
Yes.
And the brand assets.
Yes. Those becomes the assets. It's instead of, I'm not going to even name names of brands, but
it's like Tom Brown does that thing where it's an annual event that he does, like a Tom Brown soccer tournament or whatever, like baseball or what is softball? What do the Americans play?
Yes,
that's
I think so.
Like. And you know his colors, say gray, blue. What are they?
Red, blue, gray, and white.
Yeah. But he does like two teams, like the blue and the gray team.
Yes.
And he invites all like these celebrities, like like the guys who play, that he dresses and plays.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like this annual beautiful thing.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's. I'm getting closer and closer to the stage of that conceptual T-shirt, that United States of Africa tennis camp T-shirt. I've gotten close 2 times with very big international brands of actually making that T-shirt come into existence. Like last minute shit. I'm like, fuck, this was just an idea. This was just a play on doing a really cool T-shirt. But at some point you sit in meetings and they're like, yeah, actually let's get these underprivileged kids and let's do this tennis camp.
Yeah.
And get them for a week to come and learn how to play tennis and social skills and life skills, and get different people, and then get celebrities on a Friday to come and play tennis and have a party, something like that. Technicalities, they kind of mess it up because the brands that I'm working with, kids and the brands, sometimes they don't really mix properly. And that's really the only way it's been stopped twice.
Yeah. And then there's also, I don't know if you know Oscar Ngube, he used to do vintage designers, he now does dry bone. So his also like concept is the brand is called Dry Bone Co, and his thing is like African rock and roll punk.
Yes.
That kind of music genre driven brand. But he also creates like a music rock and roll band that he calls Dry Bone and Co. Then he designs like rock and roll punk band concerts, T-shirts for this band with. So it's cool. It's very cool.
Yeah, I mean that's for me, fashion arts and all those things. Those things are, they're stories, man, Jerry.
Yeah.
And to be successful in those fields, for me, I think, yes, you gotta be technical. Yes, you gotta, but all those things you can always buy. You can always buy. You can always have. Right now, I don't cut. I don't sew. I kind of draw in crazy doodles. Makes sense to me. Makes sense to my staff. I say this and this and this. Say I need a graphic like this and this and this. I'm a technical fashion designer. You know. But my story is the most important thing.
Story sells things.
Story sells things.
And in all honesty, we don't need any more clothes. How many times did you show at Fashion Week?
Showed at Fashion Week, maybe 8.
3 times.
Maybe
SA Fashion Week.
SA Fashion Week was maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah.
No, but I've done maybe like 6, because it's like 3 years, because it's seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And the last show that you were meant to show there got cancelled.
Yeah.
Have you had a meeting with Lucilla? Did you have
No.
guys spoken as to what happened there?
No.
Okay.
It's that one, Jerry, with SA Fashion Week. I've got nothing bad to say about that.
Okay.
I think it was just a big misunderstanding, miscommunication that hopefully one day could get resolved.
Okay. So that's that on that.
Yeah.
And you have now since showed at other platforms. The
Yeah.
last you did AFI.
Yeah.
You do a lot of Soweto Fashion Week.
Yeah. I've always done a lot. Even when I was doing SA Fashion
Yeah.
Week, I've done Soweto Fashion
You were
Week.
doing Soweto Fashion
Yeah.
Week.
Soweto Fashion Week is a nice platform.
Why do you say that?
It was an environment. SA Fashion, you know, these other big fashion weeks, they're very stressful. This on time, deliver that on time, do this and this and this. You create under a lot of pressure, which is good. But also you want to create I did a lot of my women's lines because also I've always wanted, every time I've done Fashion Week, I've always had an after party. I've always wanted to do a theme show. I remember that one of my shows, Lucilla allowed me to do an off-site show, which is supposed to get paid by GTA, but it was a lot of confusion, and then it ended up not being the execution that I wanted. Cool, you learn, you live and you learn. But those lessons, Jerry, they've made a couple of my other shows that I do on my own go according to a nice plan. So it's a Fashion Week is one of those platforms where I was very comfortable there. I liked Soweto Theatre. I liked the venue; it was very nice. But it allowed me to experiment on lines that I wasn't really comfortable sharing, because they were all kind of like internal ideas, like my women's line. I'm still not really strong on my women's collections, but
so have you considered getting a designer to do that?
Yes, I am.
Creative director?
Yes, I have. I have considered that. I am kind of working with someone now, but also on a slow, because they must understand the story at the same time, where it's going. Because these things are very sensitive, but I have. But Soweto Fashion Week gave me the platform and the confidence to do that. If I kind of looked down on it and said, but also it was a very nice. It's in Soweto. It's kind of who we are growing up. You kind of also want to get into, you don't want to always get into situations where it's best situations. Sometimes get into situations where people kind of look at it, and what can you offer that situation? Because every time I went there, the models always used to be excited to see me. They used to always be excited to see the clothes. They used to be happy. Scotch brings really cool sneakers. He makes us really look cool. He makes us, you know what I mean?
It's in a small intimate space.
Yeah.
People are like, you can almost touch the clothes on the runway.
Yeah.
It's accessible.
Yeah.
It's like how fashion weeks or fashion shows started back there in the early whatever times.
I really enjoyed my times there, but also just growing, just me, my journeys of fashion and fashion weeks now is just kind of doing my own productions. You know, I think that's kind of where I am as a brand and as a company, and just
where
looking.
everybody's goes. You look at brands like PMOs.
Yeah.
You know, he has his own gospel.
Yeah.
He does these shows.
Yeah.
In his interviews, they say he's not pressured. When you ask him when is the next show, he tells you, "I'll do the next one when I'm ready." You know, and it's all this extravagant.
Yeah.
There's a good story. There's a narrative.
Yeah. Instead of white everything, walk up and down. 8 minutes, it's done. Invest 15 minutes, invest another 20, 30 grand on the clothes. It's about 55,000. When I can kind of do my own production, work with a couple of different other brands. They put in most of the investment. I walk out with some cash, and maybe walk out with a collaboration that helps make the creative business and the business kind of
work. What do you wish for your business?
Right now, currently, fucking wholesale, man. That's kind of what I've been working on. I've been working on a lot of back end. Like I said, I wasn't the best paper business person. I've been putting a lot of pressure on myself on getting that right. The last This is like the 4th year. So I wanna get like I wanna work on wholesale, man. It's global. Take this shit global. I think the story is right. The manufacturing is the factories that I'm working with. I think I'm about 80%. I can be able to deliver a good product on an international platform.
For somebody who doesn't know what wholesale is, can you explain to them what do you mean?
Wholesale business is I think a fashion business is split into, I'd put it in 4 factors. I'd say design, then I'd say marketing, I'd say retail, and then I'd say wholesale. But every big fashion house they've got a very strong wholesale business. That's what pays all the bills, that's what covers everything, that's what does all the planning, that's what makes them a successful fashion business. So basically wholesale it's not really the heart, it's the body. It's the body of the business. It's the body of the business. It's the muscle of the business. If you have a strong wholesale business, you are a muscular business. Because that's kind of how I can explain it. Because you're able to satisfy your heart, your brains, and all these other things that make you grow. But wholesale is a muscle. Is how strong you are.
Do your parents understand what you do now?
No.
No.
My parents want me to find a job.
Still at 35.
At 35, they want me. If I said I found a job, they'd be overjoyed with happiness.
What do you think is still blocking them to understand?
I don't think there's a lot
trajectory.
I think it's. I don't think they think it's a real job. Sometimes I've got a lot of money, sometimes I don't have a lot. It's the stability of it. It's the stability of it, Jerry, to be honest. It's
But don't they know that it's not stable like any other business?
Yeah. I think they do, but also it's like you've been doing this for so long. Because remember, they've been with me leaving, going to England and saying this is what I'm going to come and do. And then I come and do this thing. And then this thing is leading me to other things that I'm saying that I'm doing and I'm doing. Which I think eventually leads to stability. Which I think that's when they'll get it, when it's stable, when everything is stable. Because now it's
so in a nutshell, they're just concerned about your well-being.
Yes. In a nutshell, they are concerned about my well-being. But I'm doing so much better than I was doing maybe like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
In terms of my well-being.
Cultural radar, what do you think is moving the needle right now?
It's a lot of things. Because culture works because we're in the tip. We're in we get so consumed in what's happening in South Africa in culture. But we're in like the worst place we could be. We're like number 2 worst in Australia in terms of culture and things. We're so far to get to. We're just in a difficult place. So some local culture, international, that's kind of how I see culture. Local culture, music has really fought to be a culture leader in South Africa.
Is there a particular sound right now that you think is moving the needle?
No, all the sounds. Because now you go to a club, you're going to listen to, I can even tell you, come in, depending on how early you get there around 8, they'll be playing your golden oldies mixed with house. House is actually becoming a vault, it's becoming a golden oldie. And then they'll go into hip hop at around 10, 11, 10, 11 till 12, 1, depending on the audience. Then they'll say my piano to close it off. So it's in one space, you'll get all of that. And that's not just there's no more hip hop club, this club, house club. No. None of that shit exists anymore. It used to maybe like 3-4 years ago, but now it's mixed genres. So music, I think music globally and locally, it's the culture. And then 2, art is even overtaking fashion in South Africa. Like,
define art.
Painting, photography, like that type of art. Because also fashion is art, but like art. And then fashion is kind of like really fell, man. No, real. Like, there's more buzz around Nelson Makamo than a David Cele. There's more buzz around Black Coffee than a Khairat. Those are like our major stars that should be pushing boundaries in fashion. And if they say, yo, I'm dropping a t-shirt, there's a fucking line outside the store. That's how music is. This guy drops a new music video, it's 1 million views in 1 week. That's why, we're in a world where our stars are not championing the industry and saying, yo, dude, you look in the States, Sakai drops a new, not even like a hype Nike shoe, dropping a new jacket, boom, line. Tom Brown dropping a new Barcelona capsule collection line, boom. Comedy Garçon dropping a new this line, boom. This is crazy. Supreme dropping t-shirt every week, line. But you know how that starts? That starts with the champions of the champions creating this want for products. We don't have champions in fashion. That create because then that creates that want. That once it starts exploding to someone else. But even if you're a creator, you're always gonna be the leader. I think they get scared of that. Oh, I'm gonna create this thing, but I'm actually fine where I am. There's no people championing First Thursday fashion something. But you're the champion of the industry. You've got so many tabs. You sit down in meetings with such big corporations. You can't say to this corporation, no, okay, cool, I hear you want to do my show, but for me to get to do the show, it's not about just dress. Yes, it is about dressing this person and that person, but just for the fashion industry, I want to drop a limited edition t-shirt, 100 of them. Within you doing what you're doing, put some of that PR into that t-shirt. Imagine what that would create. If there's so much PR on just one item, there's only 100 of them. It's dropping today. But you look at Nikes and they say they're dropping Comedy Garçon, Nike Dunk. Dog, that PR is even in shelf life in the bottom of the bottom, South Africa.
They spend more money on that to pushing it.
Yes. But how does that happen, Jerry? Because somebody has to say, no, put this thing in there.
It's a nice oil machine. It's a self-supporting system instead of self-sabotaging.
Yes.
Super critical, but not positive critical.
Exactly. That's but we just moved away. But culture, kids, they've got the internet. Culture is here in them. The culture, but the worst thing with us is in fashion. In fashion, we've gone where we've had so many opportunities, and a lot of brands, fashion will never go away. It's one of those things. It's clothes, you wear them. So fashion will never go away. Nothing will ever happen with fashion. But it's also the champions that are in the forefront of fashion, what are you doing to make it shine more? You know what I mean? If you make it shine more, then it becomes a bigger industry. When it becomes a bigger industry, you obviously, you're the shining, you're the one, you kind of like black coffee.
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins, but you win the most anyway.
Yeah, but at least we have seen it, we have witnessed it as the pendulum swung to the far left, and we have the confidence and the guarantee that it's going to swing back to the right.
Yeah.
It's down now, it will slowly go up.
I think so. It will never go away.
No, it won't. What do you know now that you didn't know then that you wish somebody told you?
Fuck. That's a difficult question. What do I know now that I didn't know then that I wish somebody told me? Whoa. It's a lot of things. I can't really define it into one thing.
It doesn't have to be one.
It doesn't have to be one.
You can share.
Okay. That always believe in what you believe in. Spend time in researching it. But if you believe in it, still do it. You never know the outcomes, and you never know who really sees it. To say, actually, that's what I'm doing. It's most of it is all in belief, and also in everything that you do, there's a positive, there's a negative. Actually, that's the one thing. In every single thing that you do, there's always a positive and a negative. Believe that. It's the only thing you can't control that. The only thing you can control is how high is your positive, or how low is your negative, or how high is your negative, or how low is your positive. But if I walk out of here and I go left, there's another person going right, and their right will take him somewhere, my left will take me somewhere. Could be good, could be bad. Could be good, could be bad. And sometimes take losses because of that. So take a low loss because it pushes your chances of a higher win. So don't be scared to fail and take a loss and be hard on yourself on not getting that collab, or not getting that campaign, or not getting into that store, or not. It's a higher universe working. The only thing you can control is the wins and the losses, how high or how low. Sometimes I rejoice, oh shit, I didn't get that, yes! Because maybe I'm working on I'm one sign off away from a big global international thing. But also the big global international, I'm just trying to get to the big global international thing. But it could be, I don't get that sign off with that brand. But it could be somebody's just waiting from another brand and saying, I'm just waiting just to get the plus for me to get this thing done. So that's kind of how I look at situations, but I always try and manage my wins and my losses. But there's always a positive and a negative in every single thing that you do. Because you can get the big contracts and say, Edgar's inside, we want 1,000. You have 1,000, you put your money, you put it into Edgar's 1,000 units. They're in there. Invoice 30 days. In 30 days, none of you sold 30 of them. They say, take them back. But you've just come from a high, thinking you're going to make him 3 million rands, but now in 30 days, shit on selling, take it back.
What do you know for sure?
For sure, I know that I'm in the right space. I'm in the right game. I'm in the right field. I'm happy here. I'm happy in this field that I'm in, man. There's nothing that brings me more joy. Nothing in the world that brings me more joy than this space that I'm in. I miss retail a lot. But within that same umbrella of what I'm doing, I'm very excited on my next store. I'm very excited on my next journey of my design business and my wholesale business. There's a lot of little excitement little things that are happening. So that brings so much joy to me, because I'm waiting for them just to happen, because a lot of the things that I've done around everything brings so much joy. So that I'm in the right world.
I believe in the universe.
I believe in God. I believe in timing.
How do you define God for yourself?
God is a higher power. That, believe me, there's a lot of things that have happened in my life, and I think it was impossible. Like sometimes I say, like now I'm showing on Saturday, and I'm thinking to myself, like I need miracles every single day. Last week I needed a miracle. This week I need a miracle. Next week I'm gonna need a miracle. So God is a higher power that says, actually, just give him this thing. Don't give him all of it. No, not all of it. Don't give him everything. Let him still hustle. But just give him this one so that he can sleep at night. That's what I think. There's a higher power, Jerry. But I mean, it's a lot of problem solving. But I mean, once you solve all the problems, you're gonna sit and say, fuck.
There's nothing to life.
There's nothing to life.
How do you define success for yourself?
Fuck, I'm already successful, man. When I started, my dream was to open a dope store. That was my dream. Now I'm fixing my dream to sustain everything else that I need in life. But I was successful 10 years ago. When I opened my store, that's when I was successful. That's when I felt successful. And now I can have achievements and build on those achievements. Obviously, because you're a human being, but I was successful a long time ago, man.
Thank you.
Wow.
We'll end it on that note.
Cool.